Hey, Jeremy here. I'm the founder of LATT SEO, and I work with e-commerce brands to help them generate more traffic and sales from organic search or SEO. What I'm doing in this video is looking at Ox and Pine from an SEO perspective to see if there are any ways their site can be improved and optimized better to get more traffic and more sales. So the first thing I like to do is look at this tool here called Ahrefs, and if you haven't seen my videos before, I go through and look at a couple of the primary metrics that we look at initially from an optimization perspective, and then we dig into keywords and some of the optimization improvements for them. So the first thing to look at here would be referring domains, and a referring domain is a unique instance of a different website on the internet linking to, in this case, oxandpine.com. And the reason I look at these is because Google looks at referring domains or links from other sites as votes of confidence or trust signals. So as a website owner, you want to have other websites that are trustworthy and high powered linking to your site. And that happens, as you get more sites linking to you, your DR or domain rating tends to increase as well. Now, DR is on a 0 to 100 scale, and essentially, while it's not an official ranking factor, essentially what it does tell us though is how strong or how authoritative your site is, and also how difficult or complex a key phrase is likely to be to rank for based on the site's ranking for it. So all that being said, let's look at some keyword data here for Ox and Pine and see if there are any opportunities that they can rank better for. So this chart here shows all keywords and phrases that Ox and Pine ranks for in Google. You can see 2,998. And I have this sorted by search volume per month. And there are a number of opportunities in here that we can really start to see, but for the sake of doing a short-ish video, I want to just pick one and look at that in more detail. And what I want to look at is leather notebook. So for this key phrase here, 2,600 people search this each month. And just as a quick side note, I like to look at the total opportunity for a key phrase here as we can then get some additional ideas for keywords as if we're optimizing that page from a content and a keyword perspective. So for all key phrases related to leather notebook, there are 1,823, and total search volume per month is 13,000. So we have key phrases like leather notebook cover, leather journal notebook, and so on. And so going back to where we were here, the 2,600 compared to the 13,000 really starts to show some potential and some additional potential if you were to optimize this page better and or optimize additional content on the site for that key phrase. So let's look at the search results for this key phrase. And one quick note here is the key phrase for, where'd it go? Oh, so here's leather notebook. Leather journal, that would be another opportunity. But they're already ranking pretty well, number 4 for this. And it looks like the collection is already optimized pretty well for leather journals, or leather journal, which is probably why they rank well for it. So if we look at leather notebook, search results here, a couple things to keep in mind. First would be just looking at the DR column to see if it would even make sense for them to rank for this key phrase. What I mean by that is, in this case, Ox and Pine is DR 25. If page 1 is filled with DR 80 and 90 websites, it's going to be very difficult for a 25 to rank for those keywords in most cases. So that being said, let's look here. We have Gallon Leather at 52, Jenny Beck at 43, Amazon 96, Holtz Leather 47, Smithson at 60, Papier at 71, Moleskine, not sure how to pronounce that one, 77, Paper Republic 51, and then Pen Heaven at 28. So of page 1, they are actually lower than every single result on page 1. But if we go back here and look at leather journal search results for this one, you can see here they are the second lowest on page 1, behind Epica at 24. So again, they rank higher than a 39, a 52, a 44, 47, and only lower than a 43 and a 96. So it does not mean you cannot rank or will not rank based on that metric alone. But let's look at some other metrics and see what else can be done. So if we look here, the key phrase here that they're optimized for on this page is personalized leather journals, and the URL has journals in it as well. So it's going to be difficult to rank for notebook unless you have some other optimization in place on this page. And let's do a quick look here, and then I'll dig into another tool to look at this in more detail. So we have personalized leather journals here. Looks like this is probably the H1. Let's just confirm. it is the H1, okay? And H1, if you're unfamiliar, is generally the biggest text on a page. It's the page title from a content perspective. The page title would be what's seen in the tab or the window, and usually what shows up in a search on Google. But the H1 is usually the content title on the page, and oftentimes the most important keyword or phrase, and also the purpose of the content or the purpose of the page. So personalized leather journals, it's going to be easier for them to rank for something like personalized leather journals or leather journal than it would be for them to rank for leather notebook, because that is not in the H1. Now, the other thing to do would just be a quick search here for notebook. Notebook. There we go. And see, and they have it 6 times, and it looks like it's in the product title for 6 different products. That's the only mention of that word, the word notebook, on this page. So again, it's going to be likely difficult for them to rank for because of that. But if we go back to the results here, again, let's just do a quick look at some of these competing sites and see. So we have Gallon Leather. They have notebooks and also notebook in the URL. Jenny Bick has journals. Amazon leather notebook in the URL. Journals and portfolios. So Holtz Leather does not. Smithson has notebooks in the title and URL. So I think you get the point. I don't need to go through all these. But the key would be to match the optimization with the SEO title, or the page title here, which is this text at the top, the URL, and then also the content on your site. And you can rank a page for multiple keywords and phrases. It just needs to be optimized correctly for that. And the other thing to think about is Google it's a robot, it's a search engine, but it is also intelligent enough to understand that a notebook is also probably similar to a journal, that may also be similar to or related to an agenda, or there's probably a portfolio, for example. So there's probably other names for it as well, but that would be something to think about. And you can include these other words on the page itself, or create a new collection related to and targeting a specific keyword or phrase. That's another opportunity, would be to create a collection that is just for leather notebooks, if they're different than journals. And you can have the same product in multiple collections, which can then allow you to optimize multiple collections on your page on your site for different keywords. So hopefully that makes sense. Basically, have a collection for leather journals, have another collection for leather notebooks, and I would assume there are some different products within each, and then you can capture that optimization for both of them. But let's look at this other tool here called Surfer SEO. And this tool here, what I do is put the key phrase in here, so leather notebook for this case, and then we put the URL of the site that we want to optimize, or page on the site that we want to rank better. And for Ox and Pine, for this case here, we're doing the journals page that we were just looking at. And what this does is it looks at the top 5 ranking sites in Google and gives us an average or an expected range of various factors that we should have on the site from a content perspective. So this would be things like keyword density, words, the amount of content, H1 tags, and other technical elements as well. But the one I want to just look at here briefly would be the content density, like I've been talking about. So for the key phrase leather notebook, it's suggested to have that phrase on the page 1 to 3 times, and Ox and Pine has it 0. And then you can see leather journals, it's expected 3 to 4 times, they have it once. Leather notebooks, 2 to 9, they have it 1 time. So again, it's going to be very difficult to rank for a key phrase, or rank well for a key phrase, if you don't have that content on your site at all. So that would be a quick and easy test to optimize for, to include some information here, even a paragraph or 2 about the difference between a journal and a notebook, and or explaining a little bit about why their notebooks are different or better or higher quality, things like that. So that would be a quick test. And then secondly, larger test, but it would still be something that they could do without impacting this page here, would be to set up a new collection that is targeting specifically leather notebook or leather notebooks, and work to optimize and capture additional traffic that way. And that is it. That's how I would do a quick audit, or how I did a quick audit for Ox and Pine, and a couple optimization strategies and tests they can do to potentially improve their rankings and generate more sales. And that's it. Hopefully this video was valuable. whether you are associated with Ox and Pine or not. Gave you some ideas as to what to look at on your site, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.